What is up, home workout dads? This week I didn't have the time to put a video together, so I thought, why not put one of our trainees who's doing a great job do the work for me. So if you're interested in learning how to go from an everyday stressed and tired dad into becoming what we call in our program a strong dad, check out Jeff's story. All right. So you reached out to us a few months ago. Tell us a little bit about where you were at that point. What were your goals? And what were you struggling with? Where you're at right now? A little bit of a journey overview.
So I was, I'd made contact with you and done a bit of an initial training program probably over a year ago. And that was really, maybe longer. That was really good. Got some really quick, good results. But then I sort of fell off the wagon. It's such a new job, a new job as an assistant principal, which is, a massive step up from being a teacher, and the commitments and the hours that came with that. So I started to neglect my health, body in particular, and just went back to some comfortable old habits. So like drinking, a bottle of beer or two each night, maybe some chips, half a cake of chocolate, sometimes a whole. I usually eat pretty well during the day. I wasn't a really big, terrible. I didn't miss breakfast or anything like that. Lunches were all okay, but then I'd often have, we'd have meetings at school, so I'd always help myself to the different chocolate biscuits and scones and yeah. So schools aren't great for trying to stay on a diet.
There's always something happening, right? Birthdays.
Yeah, there's always something happening. Someone's leaving, someone's arriving, someone's having a baby. Someone's graduating, all that. So there's always an occasion to eat. So just got into some bad habits, really. And I do suffer from depression. Sort of got diagnosed with that in my late 20s. And so, but I probably really, if I look back on my life, probably had it since I was probably about 15-ish. Yeah. So that's always there. And so I was going back into the depressive state, I suppose, of eating crap food, not exercising, and working too much.
Yeah.
So I decided, and then I had 105 kilos, sort of at near the end of last year, beginning of this year, and I just thought to myself, I'd never been that heavy. I'm 5 foot. I'm just under 5'10", and 105 kilos is big for me at that height. And I knew that I'm overweight when I get to about 100 kilos, and but yeah, I was 5 kilos over being overweight. So I thought, and a lot of people had commented on my puku, like, oh yeah, you got the comfortable, father figure. I reached out to you again, and then got started on things again. As we do, started slow, and then as the progress started, we started cranking up and different levels, which was good. And then
all right, so where are you at right now? Like, how much do you weigh right now? How long have you been on the program? Tell us a little bit about some wins, either that's physical, in terms of reps, of performance, of the mental benefits. What have you seen personally in all sections of your life?
Yeah, so I'm down to just on sort of 90 kilos, 91 kilos. It fluctuates at the moment between there. And I've effectively lost around 12, 13, sort of 14 kilos. And my goal was to get to around 87, 86, because I know that weight, which was my weight, sort of late teens into my 20s, I know that I'm pretty fit and pretty strong and pretty lean. But that's still the goal. to get there. There's extra 3 or 4 or 5 kilos.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've progressively just sort of lost that 1 kilo or so a week. It was quite rapid to start with, and then as we're getting closer to the goal, it seems to be more like in the hundreds of grams each week, which is a nice, that's a nice healthy rate. And just massive wins in terms of energy levels. Like I'm much clearer in my work, much clearer in my communication, even though, and learning how to, you always know these things, eh? Like, you know that you got to prioritize, you know, you got to have a healthy lifestyle, but it's making it happen. So prioritizing it and making it right. I have to get up. I have to do that training. I have to work hard. I have to go to, technical failure, and just push through that initial. I don't want to get out of bed, but even that is now. Oh, I'm just waking up. Oh, it's time to. It's become habitual now. It's become. This is how I roll. This is my life. Which and then what I really like is the warm up. So I remember one of your first lessons is if you're not going to warm up, don't bother training. And so I've stuck to that. And the warm up's actually really nice. It's not like going for having to do shuttles or anything like that. Like when you're in a rugby team, you're like, oh God, I don't want to start running. But it's almost yoga-ish, the stretches with the neck and just getting all the clicks and the clunks and feeling the warmth of my body, of the muscles coming. By the time I finish that, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm on. Yeah, and that's only like 6 or 7 minutes, eh? Yeah, and man, the gains are great, it's amazing how fast you can progress up I know there'll be a plateau at some point, but you can just keep pushing your body, eh? Yeah, because I sort of had even though I knew I was training and I was going hard and I wanted changes, I was sort of expecting, because I'm nearly 50, that you wouldn't get the changes that a 20-year-old would, and you probably don't in terms of bulk or speed. I don't know exactly the physiology, but it's definitely it's great. You think, oh yeah, shit, I can do that. What's next?
Yeah. What would you advise somebody your age who wants to, make gains and see changes in his body? Like, what would be your advice?
To be comfortable with the slow. Well, there's a few things really. Be comfortable with, because of that I suppose it's that related to that all or nothing attitude. Because I'm definitely like that. I'm definitely an all or nothing sort of guy. If people annoy me or the relationships aren't good, I just go, nah, I'm out. I'll probably still stick to that. But in terms of training, being okay with, like you've said before, doing a weekly weigh-in is not motivating, because there's multiple things that can happen over 7 days. But having that daily weigh-in, you can see those natural fluctuations, and you start to see the patterns of why those fluctuations have come. You've eaten something that maybe, I don't know, it was a bit more water retention, or you ate too much, or you didn't sleep well, or you start to see why they're coming. And sometimes it's just random. There's nothing there, eh? But that's changed. But that gradually is going down, and the body's just adjusting in whatever way it has to. So being comfortable with that slowness and knowing that, like, it's not going to be an overnight 1 month fix. Yeah. That's probably the biggest thing. Because if I think about my partner, she's like that too. She's just like, nah, I got to this point, not going any faster, bugger it. And she'll just, have another glass of wine or whatever. Yeah. And I think just making things habitual, and I know that's easier said than done, but we're all humans and we love habits, and we have good ones and bad habits. So it's just making that a good habit and pushing through some of the, having to get up early, or that not wanting to get out of bed, or fitting it in at the beginning of the day if you're busy. Doing it at the start is always, because as soon as you go, oh no, I'm too tired, I'll stay in bed a bit longer, and the day happens, and then you're like, no, I'm real super tired now. All I want to do is go home and eat, or lie in front of the TV or whatever. Yeah, and it just sets you up, Just sets you up for the day. You just feel so good. Knowing two reasons, knowing that you've done it psychologically, you've done the workout, you've done what you're supposed to do. It's a big tick, big sense of achievement. But then physically, your the endorphins are up. You're feeling good. You can feel the muscles have been worked, so you think you're pretty cool. Yeah, all that. Yeah.
What would be your tips in terms of nutrition to like somebody who would be your age and wants to make a change? Maybe he's training, but he's completely messing up his nutrition. And as we all know, you can't out-train a bad diet. What would your advice be? What did you struggle maybe with, and how did you overcome that?
I think number one is the protein piece. That protein, you got to get those proteins in, like the eggs and the meat and the fish and the cottage cheese, and then similarly, you got to start automating it. That particularly, I think that the first key one, like cleaning out your refrigerator or cleaning out your cupboards.
Yeah.
Because it's just so tempting. I still suffer from it now. I think it's never ending. I'm a sugar fiend, and if there's any chocolate around, I'm on it. I'll smell it. So just not having. I've been pretty good with the beer. Like I've had 2 cans of beer in my fridge for about 3 months. So I haven't touched. So, but with the sugar, that chocolatey, fatty, beautiful stuff, just not having it around, because even though you get those pangs, and if you go and searching the fridge and the cupboards, they're not there, you're not going to go out to the shop or whatever, or you might if you're desperate, but it's just not there, so you got to find a substitute. So the protein biggie, keeping on the protein, because I found when I started getting on because my standard is 4 boiled eggs and about 150 grams of cottage cheese, and a bit of a protein sort of smoothie fruit shake. And a black coffee. That's my breakfast every day, and I've just got used to that. And when I first started that, I was full till about 10ish, and I'd have that around 6ish. So it kept me going for about 4 hours. I'd be pretty hungry by about 10, but it's better than a bowl of cornflakes and you're hungry within 10 minutes. So protein, and then and not being too, again, that all or nothing thing, not being too hard on yourself. If you do have the occasional chocolate or some chips or whatever, it's okay. Like even today, there's a couple of kids that had some hot chips that they had bought. They offered me some, and I had 1 or 2. But what I'd normally do is have half a box, or so I just keeping it small, a little taste, and then leaving it at that, or just refusing altogether. And then if you have those bad days, you got some great mottos. So, just get back on the horse.
Yes.
You have a shit day. Oh, well, don't have your shit days for 2 days, then 3 days. Just start again.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's nutrition and training. I find that the training was way easier to get habitual. I'm still struggling with the food.
Yeah, that's common. I think with all of us. I'm also a big foodie, and as you said, like if I have ice cream in my fridge, it's gonna go away. Like it doesn't matter if it's like a kilo. Maybe I'll have some discipline first day, second day. Eventually you're gonna come home stressed or tired or angry or whatever that might be, and you're just gonna attack that. So yeah, having a relatively clean fridge, at least like the red flag foods that you're very sensitive to, like getting rid of those. That's a big hack that helps a lot. But as you said, it's also about the mindset, right? Like being able to slowly transition from an all or nothing guy to, being able to deal with, okay, like maybe you mess up your nutrition once, or maybe you miss one workout. As we say, never miss twice. Like, if you miss one, that's okay, but do your best to not miss that second one, the next one, and that way you're gonna keep your momentum. You're gonna keep going. So these are important things that I think even if you mess up once or twice, you still need to remind yourself, because that black or white mindset tends to kick back really easily the moment you just lose your focus. So let's say you've got a guy, again, a friend of yours or somebody your age. He's a little bit in a dark place. He's stressed, overworked. He doesn't have the free time, but he does want to make a change, which is very, very usual with busy dads, right? What advice would you give him? Like, how would you help him get started? Like, what has maybe worked for you, or what would you do as a mentor to a guy like that?
Maybe just a bit of a scheduling a sit down session around, without trying to preach or be the great motivator. Just or what's actually important in your life. Like going back to the meaning of what's actually, is work that important? Is you working yourself into the ground and becoming a fat bastard and being grumpy and unhealthy? Is that really what you want? Is that really how you want to be? Is it really, what are the other parts of your life? What do you actually want to achieve? How do you want to actually feel? And then go from there. Because I think that's where I was. I was 105 kilos. Everyone's commenting on how fat I am. I had that reaction to whatever was happening in my body. My pants were tight as, my shirts I couldn't fit. And I was just like, oh, I don't want to be like this. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably what I would just have a bit of not a hard conversation, but just an open and frank conversation about where their life's at, and without being a counsellor. And yeah, and if they want to stay in that state, well, it's up to them. But if they want to make it, because I think it's like anything, for any behaviour change or anything that you've wanted, you got to own it. You got to take responsibility for whatever that may be. If you've done something, it's what I do with kids at school. They've done something wrong. They got to own it before we can make any change or make any progress. Yeah, if they don't want to own it, you just go around circles.
Yeah, great point. And at the end of the day, you can have the best coach, the best nutritionist, the best psychologist, the best whatever, right? But if you don't want to make a change, it's probably never gonna happen. So
yeah, just like therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it is a form of therapy.
Those morning workouts for me, those have been very, very important with keeping myself stable. Starting my day with confidence, being able to fight my demons and all of that. So I don't know, how do you feel that, especially the morning workout, does that help you start your day on a more positive tune?
Yeah, 100%. Like I said before, just that clarity, and like when you're training hard, it's well, not monotonous, but it's repetitive, and so once you got the technique right and you're pushing through, and we've all got active brains. I haven't got I'm not brain dead while I'm doing my repetitions and just thinking about the repetitions and things are going through my head about the day and, you know, life and all that. Even on the bike, and then focusing in on the exercise as well. So that sort of things are rummaging around in there, bouncing around, but you know you're doing your training at the same time. And then by the time you're finished, you do have a bit more clarity around, rather than having all those things bounce around and while you're trying to sleep and you can't sleep, or getting confused on your getting overwhelmed when you get up and got all these things floating around, you can't quite put them in order, or don't know how to start your day. So that it just sort of it doesn't set up your to-do list, or it doesn't set up how you're going to do it, but it just seems to, for me, it just seems to provide a bit of clarity and pushes to the top what actually needs to, how you need to start your day. Yeah, as well as the endorphins and feeling good as well. Yeah, so that's what that's actually quite a motivator to start the training. Like, I know I'm a bit sleepy, or it's cold, I don't want to go outside, it's winter, but I know once I've done this, I'll feel heaps better.
Yeah.
And I can start my day well. Yeah. Because I get it.
Does it?
Yeah, sorry.
No, go on.
Yeah, because when I miss those spin trainings, I'm like, I had to get the work done. There's just something that has to be done, or is last minute or whatever, and you get it done. But so I try and make up for it later in the day. Like, go to a later spin class. Mm-hmm. I've done that once or twice, I think, and that's been good. But then the other times I just haven't made it, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's just classic. That's what would happen if I missed my trainings every morning. Yeah. No, I think, it's been a while since I've got that degree and whatnot around, and I majored in exercise physiology, but just the recompositioning of muscle and fat, and I think I have a feeling that's happening right now in terms of, I was at the 90s, I was nearly under, up to 91 there for a bit, back into the 90s, it's sort of just bouncing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And noticing that I've got heavier, but then I've got trimmer around the waist and the hips, Yeah.
Yeah, the weight scale doesn't always give a good picture. It is important, but you also want to make sure that you're looking in the mirror, right? Because if you look amazing in the mirror, who cares if you're not down to the weight that you originally maybe thought you want to be at?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I thought the other day when I was at 91.3 or something. I was thinking, oh shit, I've jumped up to that. But then I looked at that's when I sent that latest photo, and I thought, oh, I'm not too worried about that if it looks like that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, any final thoughts before we close?
No, I just acknowledge you and John, just the positivity, the perseverance, the always coming back with a different angle. I love the humor as well. It's been a good journey. The generosity, it's just been. I think when it's great coaches, great mentors that you being able to push and change things up as required, but not being, demanding or authoritarian or punishing, which we know don't work.
Yeah.
But it's very, very good, very professional, 100%. I'll be talking about you to everyone. Yeah, I say I've got these 2 Greek trainers.
Nice.
And they say, why did you go to Greece for? Why are you online? You just get someone in New Zealand.
Yeah. Awesome. No, we love hearing that. We're very happy. You've done the work. You've put in the reps, the sweat, the morning hours. And congrats. You've done amazing. And we're very happy to have you in our program.
Yeah, there's a saying here in New Zealand. It's do the mahi, get the treats. So mahi in Māori is work. So do the mahi, get the treats.
Nice.
And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Do the work, and the good stuff will come.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome, Jeff. Thank you very, very much.